Good morning, beloved ones.
Good morning.
Turn to someone and tell them, you are the marvelous light of God. You are the marvelous light of God. Yes, you are that marvelous light of God. The marvelous light of God. Yes. Did you feel that, though? Did you feel it when somebody told you you were the marvelous light of God? Or did you just kind of go, oh, you're the light of God? No? You felt it, Cheryl, huh? You're the marvelous light of God. Somebody tell me that. Thank you. I receive it. I receive it. I receive it. I receive it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Well, this is it, you know. This be it. This is the last Sunday in the year 2019. Let's give 2019 a hand. It's the last Sunday, and I'm sure, as with any year, there are probably many, many things that we would love to keep, and we would love to remember, and we want to hold on to from this marvelous year of 2019. And likewise, there may be things that we would love to forget, right? That we can't wait to release and let go of. Because this is the way life works. And this is one thing I'm sure of, is that we really can't keep it all, right? Some things are going to have to be released if we're going to be ready to embrace the new, right? Because next Sunday is going to be the first Sunday. So this is an ending, and next Sunday will be what? A beginning. But we want to be ready to embrace all that this new year, the possibilities, may hold for us. And we want to be able to take it in with a clean slate, an open heart, an open mind, an open vessel, ready to really receive it all. Which means there are some things we might need to let go. Somebody said this, that learning to live is learning to let go. And I think that that's true. Learning to live is learning how to really let go. Because the longer I live, the more I'm beginning to see the need to just let go. Let a lot of things go, to let go of all of the stuff that I may have accumulated, to let go of all the things that I thought were so important and so meaningful, and things that I thought I couldn't live without, only to find, you know what, I've lived pretty well without them. You know, but the older I get, or the longer I live, I'm really beginning to see the appeal of simplicity, right? I'm looking around my house. Now, I spent a lot of years accumulating all this stuff, working hard for this stuff. And I'm at a point now where I want to get rid of all this stuff because it's too much. I don't need it. My closet is filled with clothes that I really need to give some of that stuff away. I have knickknacks I really don't need to have. Angels. My mother and I would laugh. I used to collect hummingbirds. I got hummingbirds. I used to collect teacups. Got lots of teacups. I used to collect angels. Got lots of angels. Don't need it. Right? I don't really need it. As my nephew said, you're one of the hardest people to buy something for Christmas because it's true. I really don't need any more stuff. And so I'm learning, how can I release and how can I let go? And the longer I live, the more I want to release and let go. And this whole concept of letting go is also a great secret to experiencing inner peace. Inner peace comes from your ability to let go and release things that we have held on to in consciousness, things that we've held on into our minds and with our minds for a long time. And so the older I get, the more I'm recognizing that I really don't want to hold on to unnecessary things in my mind any longer. Now, some of that is involuntary, right? Because sometimes I go upstairs and I wonder why I'm up here. Why did I come upstairs? And I have to laugh because I came up with such resolve. I came upstairs and I get up there and I go, now why am I here? Gone, right? But seriously, there are times that I really want to choose what I want to release in my own mind, right? I want to be conscious of what I think is essential enough to hold and what is really not essential for me to keep in my consciousness. I want to choose what I think is meaningful for me to hold on to. Not just things, because I'm recognizing, not necessarily things, but what I think is meaningful in terms of concepts. What is it? I want to choose those things that I feel will actually add to my life and add to my consciousness and not distract or detract from my life and from my beingness. Because all too often, we get caught up into wanting to hold on to everything. Even those things that no longer serve us well, right? Useless, unnecessary things. But we hold on to them because what? Well, they're my things. And so we hold on to them and they're no longer serving us well. Old thoughts, old beliefs, old feelings, right? Old hurts. Things that really keep us from moving forward. So in order for us to really embrace new beginnings, we're going to have to become good at, or at least comfortable with, embracing endings. New beginnings are the result of also endings. Because things come and things do what? Things come and things go. And there's a natural rhythm to life. There's a flow, right? There's an ebb and a flow. Things come in and things go. People come in, situations come in, stations in life, things come in and things go. Things change. The song, Everything Must Change, right? Everything must change. There is a season and a reason and a flow for everything. And usually that's fine, except for when we get into the mix and try to stop this rhythm of life. You know, we get into the way of this flow by wanting to hold on when it's really time to let go. And when we can't release, when life says it's time to let go, we suffer. When we cannot release, when life itself says it's time to let go, we suffer. And I was thinking about this. If you look at all of your sufferings, if you examine your suffering, it's because you're trying to hold on to something. It could be a situation, it could be your circumstance, it could be your job, it could be whatever, your relationship, it could be anything, your self-image. It may be the perceptions you have, your beliefs that you're holding, the assumptions that you have made in life, the things that you feel are true, but they're just assumptions perhaps. But we're trying to hold on to them. And maybe they're literal things too. We're trying to hold on to our literal stuff. I'm trying to hold on to some size 6 skirts that I know that it ain't gonna happen. I had a beautiful suede skirt that I didn't wear very much because it was so beautiful that I thought I didn't want to wear it a lot, so I didn't wear it a lot. And it was a size 6, and lo and behold, something happened. And I could no longer wear it, and I think I might have worn it twice, maybe, or 3 times, and then I could not wear it. But I kept it in my closet, right? Thinking I'm going to get around to it, or I'll have it. Until years later, I said, I just need to let this go. Let it go. We want to hold on. And in our wanting to hold on, we suffer. Haven't you been in a relationship that you knew was over? but you stayed only to suffer because you could not let go. Even though you knew it was over, it was not right for you, you stayed. You made excuses, whatever it was, but you suffered because you could not let go. Well, how about the thoughts we have? Limited, negative thoughts, things that are not working in our minds, and things that plague us, thoughts that plague us only to amplify our suffering and cause us undue suffering because we can't let those thoughts go. We repeat them and hold on to them. Yes, but what about this and what about that? And yes, this happened over and over, and we suffer. If you want to grow, and if you truly want to experience a sense of inner freedom, we're going to have to learn the art of letting go. The art of letting go. Now, a few weeks ago, I'm not sure which talk it was, but I know I was talking about this process again of letting go. And someone mentioned to me that I didn't really tell people how to let go, right? I didn't give them the how of letting go. That I just said maybe let go, and it seems that it was all too simple. And so I gave them the example that Stretton Smith used in one of his teachings in the 4T prosperity class when somebody asked him, well, how do you let go? And he answered them and he said, how do you let go of a steaming, piping hot potato that you are holding in your hand? How do you let go of a steaming hot potato in your hand? Huh? You drop it. And not only do you drop it, but you drop it how? Quickly. Quickly. See, we want to make it scientific. We want to get into now, how should I let this hot potato go? If I release it too soon, will I be damaged? What if this is the potato that is for me? You don't. You let it go quickly. You drop it. And so how do you let go of a negative thought, a negative perspective? You simply let it go what? Quickly. You drop it. You drop it quickly. And when you drop it quickly, because of the nature of the mind, you think another thought. You think another thought. Now, of course, you may have to do this several times, but that's okay. We're talking process here, because if you can refuse to engage that thought when it comes constantly, it's coming again, eventually if you refuse to engage it, it will cease to come because there's no energy that you are supplying it. You see, if you don't feed a thought, that thought will starve and die. If you don't, right? If you do not allow it place in your consciousness, if you don't allow it to take up root in your mind and in your heart, it will cease to be and to come because there's no energy that you're feeding it. Now, is this easy? No, because some people say, well, that's not easy to do. We ain't talking easy. We're talking process. See? And so if you could get, before when I explained to people the process, they want it to be easy. I'm not talking easy, I'm talking process. Because if you can practice the process over and over, it will become easier. You got to practice the process. Turn to somebody and say, practice the process. Practice the process. So it's not necessarily about it being easy, but can you practice letting it go, thinking another thought? That limited thought comes in, you know what? No. Let me see. Oh, the sky is blue. Engage, because you control not what comes in, because the thought may come. That's fine. You can't stop it from coming, but you don't have to play with it. Right? You can say, oh, yeah, I'm going over here. And if you can do that long enough, eventually it gets tired of coming. Because there's no energy, there's no interplay, there's no attention, there's no action. So energy flows where your attention goes. And if you don't give that any attention, your energy will flow somewhere else. See? And so you would have released and let it go. You will have dropped it. Now the key word is quickly. You can't engage it, because once you engage it, you're stuck, you're there. Recognize it, see it, move on about your business. Let it go. So this is the practice. And if you want to grow spiritually, you're going to have to understand this practice of letting go. You're going to have to do that. The I Ching says this. The I Ching said, one must empty oneself of what has been unnecessarily accumulated. Self-purification is the first step towards spiritual development. One must empty oneself of what has unnecessarily been accumulated. What is unnecessarily accumulated in your consciousness? If you want to grow, you're going to have to practice self-purification, releasing, letting it go. It's unnecessary. Do you know the definition of how we define hell in unity is useless, unnecessary suffering. Useless. Now, there's some suffering that has a purpose. It is to wake us up. But once you are awakened, it's useless to continue to suffer. Move, take action, change, do whatever is needed. But this whole thing of emptying the self. See, there's that inner self. Greater is he that is in you than he that is in the world. When we get to this inner self, this divine self, it's not clogged down and bogged down with all the weight of the world. It's not. It's free. It's spirit. It's light. It's energy. It's movement. It's not stagnation, accumulation, burden, heavy. It's free. And so you empty the self constantly to find the self. What does it profit a man to gain the whole world but lose his soul? Keep emptying the self to find yourself. And Hazrat Khan said this. Hazrat Khan said, one principle of awakening to life is emptying the self. In other words, making oneself a clearer and fuller accommodation in order to accommodate all experience more clearly and fully. I'm going to read that again. One principle of awakening to life is emptying the self. In other words, making oneself a clearer and fuller accommodation in order to accommodate all experience more clearly and fully. Meaning that when experiences are going to come, but you want to be able to accommodate that experience from a clear perspective, right? So that you can do what is yours to do, you can see it rightly, you can work with it from a high plane and place of consciousness. But when you are bogged down with stuff, the experience, you can't deal with it clearly because you're not a clear, transparent, open and receptive and empty vessel to be filled by the divine. The more stuff that the self has accumulated in consciousness and holds on to, then the less opportunity there is to be fully present to experience the present moment. Do you get that? Right, to experience the present moment. And the more you miss experiencing the present moment, the less you're going to feel alive. You get that? Because life is happening when? Now. The fullness of life is right here, right now. And if we are not experiencing this present moment, what you're trying to do is hold on to a dead energy of the past, or maybe even of the future. And we become just a shell of past experiences which carry no real energy, which can also lead to being fertile ground for like depression, holding on to what happened in the past, what didn't go your way, not being where you wanted to be, not doing what you want to do in life. All of those things which simply begin to drain you. So my thing is, answer those things Answer them and then move on. What is it that you want to do? Stop bemoaning what you didn't get to do. What do you want to do now? And move towards that. What is it that you want? Don't bemoan that you don't have this and you didn't get that. What is it that you need and want? When? Now. And move towards that. Move towards that. Because the action that you're needed to feel alive is in the present moment, right here. So do what brings you life. Do what gives you life. Miguel Ruiz, who wrote the Four Agreements, you all remember that powerful book, he puts it this way. He says, whatever life takes away from you, let it go. When you surrender and let go of the past, you allow yourself to be fully present. Again, this is a what? A process. Letting go is what? A process. But it is a process that can heal us if we engage it. It isn't a process maybe that overnight. We can do it quickly. As you begin to develop the process, you will find that you can do it more quickly. But it is a process because God is a God of a now, the now moment. God is not a God of the past, and God is not a God of the future. God is a God of the now, present moment. So the question is, can you give yourself to this present moment? What is it that I'm feeling in this present moment? See, if we feel grief and sorrow in the present moment, that's fine. But if we're feeling grief and sorrow from the past moment, that's not where you need to be, right? That's not energy that's real. What am I feeling now? Is what I'm feeling now in the present moment. What am I thinking now? Is it related to my present circumstance? Or is it related to something in the past? Or is it related to some thoughts I might have of the future? What is it that is before me now? Let me be present to that. Whether it's being present to the joy or being present to your sorrow, if it's in the present moment, feel it. Relate with it, deal with it. And then as it moves, you move on to the next thing that is for you and present before you. See, sometimes we fear giving up the past because we mistakenly believe that we will be giving up something of ourselves. If I let this past thought, this past feeling, this past circumstance, this past situation, whatever, go, I'm giving up something of myself. I'm giving up my memories. I'm giving up my past experiences. All of the things that I think make me, right? These are the things that we think make us us. My thoughts, my feelings, my memories, my experiences, that's what makes me. But beloved ones, I want to tell you that is not who you are. You are more than your past. You are more than even your future. You are more than your memories. You are more than your past experiences because you are a soul, a divine expression that is ever and always in the creative flow of the divine energy of life, right here, right now. You are a soul that is ever and always in the midst of the creative energy and flow that is life itself. That's who you are. One with that energy that is creating, that is moving, that is flowing in and through you right now. You're that energy, not the past, not the future, but the life-creating energy of God right here, right now. And you're connected to that source because you're in that source. You are in that flow. You're transforming and changing moment by moment, right? With every breath you take, you're a new being, a new opportunity. You breathe in, there's something new right here, right now. We are always in that state of consciousness. That's the dynamic energy of life. And if you want to live a dynamic life, then you have to allow the energy, this creative substance of God, this flow of the divine that is moving in you, in which you live, move, and have your being, because it's you live, you move, and you have your being. There's a flow, there's an energy, there's a force that is constantly moving you ever onward, upward, growing. You're not the same person you were when you were 3 years old. You're not the same person you were yesterday. Everything is causing you to expand, to grow, to transform, to change, moment by moment. And when you can be present to the moment is when your life has dynamic energy. See, it's when you feel alive because you're present to this moment. So, in a few days, we're going to have an opportunity to release and let go of everything that needs to be released and to let go so that we can have more vitality and more joy, more the fullness of life right here and right now. And we're going to have our burning bowl service. But I want you to remember, this is not just a cute activity that we do in Unity and New Thought. This is a spiritual practice. It is to remind us of the power of letting go of what needs to be released in our lives and in our affairs. So take some time between now and Tuesday evening, if you're coming to our burning bowl, and ask yourself, what is it that needs to be released? What needs to come to an end? What needs to come to an end in my life right now? What am I holding on to that I need to be free of? Hold that, and then be prepared to release it. That don't come with the whole book to be burned. See if you can culminate it all down into a few key things. But I do want you to think about that. I want you to think, my endings, what has ended that I need to release so that I can more fully embrace what is about to begin? For my endings lead me to my beginnings, and I trust in the process as I release and let go that I'm surrendering to a higher presence and power that is God. When you release and surrender to God, there is no fear. There's a song that we sing that says, I release and I let go. Ricky Byers says, I let the Spirit run my life. And my heart is open wide because I'm only here for what? I'm only here for God. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life. And my heart is open wide because I'm only here for God. God knows what God is doing in your life and in your affairs. Trust the process. Blessings. Namaste. Blessings. Namaste. Blessings.